once again, thanks a lot, Rita Rossi, joining us from Italy. It is really once again a possibility and opportunity for RESO platform to have you on this platform and see your perspectives on different societal challenges and issues such as like global climate change and its interconnection with human rights and relations we come across, and we experience pain, we experience suffering. So that is the reason we try to cover different possibilities and dimensions for broadcasting and record publications and interview that we have in RESO platform. So that is the reason we are very much glad today to have you once again on this platform. So my first question to you is like, what's your understanding on global climate change? What's your perception? We would like to have your comments on that.
I'm happy to be here with you. And about your question, for me, the climate change is based on many factors. I believe first and foremost in consumerism, producing in high quantities from the small things we find in the supermarket up to the airlines. From the small things we find, we have all become considered sport. Another example, they say, of electric vehicle, but electricity is still produced with coal. I think it would be many factors.
It's such a wonderful possibility for us to have your comments on global climate change issue. Now I would like to move on to my second question, which is like, share your thoughts on human rights. We have violations of human rights, different corners, different nooks and corners of the world. You talk about developed countries or developing countries, any nation, any society, any community or region, we do have violations of human rights. What do you understand your thoughts on human rights? Please share.
Right now, it's so important, this argument about all the world, about the human rights, the gender quality, and is complicated subject, because the human, all of us, we are very complex creature. If we have to think about the world and man as a male gender, it is similar in very country. A creature weak in thought and frightened by the power of the woman, a feminine creature, I would say almost threatened due to its capacity of psychosomatic learning. It's so complex to think the complex character who the men think about this argument, to be in confront with the woman. If the law of interiority plays a role in the East, the same discrete threat exists in the West. We don't use the burqa, but they often want to put a plaster on it. And in Occident is so many examples about this argument. And the men think a woman like a possession, to take the woman like the creature who need to stay at home to prepare something because the man can need to work. I believe that society in general needs psychosomatic support. Let's think about birth. We couldn't procreate without the male and female tools. We are both indispensably to the same importance, but in every time we forgot it. One cannot exist without the other sample, but competition is created in adolescence when the social factors take over all the people, because all our character, starting with our society, our territory, who we live, and we learn about the society, many things. More close is the society, more close mind is the society, more difficult will be for all the people who stay around it.
Okay.
I think.
Uh, my friend, I do understand because there are big violations across the globe talking about when it comes to human rights. Now, just moving on to my third question on this platform, we would request you to share your thoughts on gender equality or gender disparity. What is gender equality and what's your perception about it? Please do share with our audience.
So, this is most complex question because I said before, human beings a very complex creature. The power, wealth that human beings believe they possess is at risk every day. Everyone feels threatened with losing power, especially power, and believes that with domination they can maintain it. Therefore, social complications arise, instilling ignorance and knowledge, that he says, to dominate the soldier's creed. Through our existence, this problem exists. The power struggle and public domain. Here, human rights take over violated due to the fear of some. Maybe it is not like that. This is my truth, my credo. Live and behave as you would like the world to behave towards you. But I'm a tear in the ocean, a number. And this argument we discuss every year and in our festival, film festival, when we organize the workshop about this argument, because it's so important to perhaps all this before too, and need to reflect about this argument, to reflect more.
Well said, such a wonderful perception on gender equality. And now I just would like to move on to my fourth question. I mean, how are climate change and human rights interrelated? What's their connection? How these two things, these two areas, climate change and human rights, have interrelation? Please comment on that.
I believe all the people in the world is complex, and to find the great connection in first step, we need to have and more knowledge about what is the word woman, right humans, the right of humans, because it's so important, most important in this epoch, in these years, who all the people lose themselves about the internet, for example, haven't so much time to discuss, to have a dialogue, and sometimes in the family have a difficult to find the connection inside of the member of the family, and is most difficult and complex to find the connection in the society, I believe. And we need to live free in first step, to feel, to respect the human, to respect the planet, because everything is not only I love the planet, I would like to live better in this world, but I don't respect the planet, I don't respect the people who live around me. And in first step, I believe most important is to learn about the respect of everything, of the people, of the things, of the planet, of the tree, of the animals, because human begins with power, with wealth, to live better, to feel good inside us and outside of us, need to respect the people, men and women. If them is from our place or if they is from another country, because of course we have different language. For example, I don't speak so good English, but the people who don't speak my language is the same people who have the same things who we have. And in these days, the people, we don't count more about like people, but like number. For example, and when we all of us passed from COVID-19 and was terrible, for example, past 3 years yet, but in our life exists yet, and is an argument most important, because leave us this virus, leave us alone for many time, to separate from many people, have a connection. And I believe I for the peace. I believe if we learn in first step to respect, we can have love for the planet, a good planet, a better people around us. And I think never stop learning. We need to learn every time, because the magical world we live, this planet, give us so opportunity to live here. And we take this opportunity like something like egoist, and use them about the egoist. If we can find the good connection about inside of our family, we can find and the good connection outside in the society, outside of our home. And because the planet is not for one people from Italy, from States, from Iran, from Israel, from Russia. The planet is for all of us, and all us, we are responsibility to respect this planet, because we live only sometimes, but the planet give opportunity for many generation more, I believe. And I repeat again, live and behave as you would like the world to behave towards you. We can live better.
Okay.
I believe.
It's important to learn that planet is for all, and it is not an individual property. It is for all of us, whether we have different geography or a different context, different countries we come from. But at the same time, it's our collective responsibility, because it belongs to all of us. So the responsibility and accountability also for all of us to have that and take that responsibility very personally. It is a collective responsibility, at the same time individual responsibility. That's what I sense by your words, and such a important areas you have touched during your conversation so far. Now I just would like to move on to my last question, which is going to be the fifth question. It says since as per my sense and I will figure out, you have little film background and perhaps Hollywood thing, I just don't know exactly, but we do understand to an extent that you do have certain managerial skills which you practice there. So the question is, how can movies promote awareness of climate change and human rights? So now, what I want to ask you, it's about awareness, how climate change can be promoted and human rights can be promoted in terms of raising their awareness, both these dimensions. And what is the role of movies to play in that, since you have that background, Hollywood background? So would you please comment on that?
For me, and about my experience, because this is our argument, about the cinema, thanks of cinema, we works every day, every time with many students to give the example, because I believe when we see cinema, we reflect and so many things about the arguments who is in the film. The magical world of cinema is Hollywood, is Bollywood, is Italy, is French, is Germany. Is and foremost take the people unite and does not separate them, I believe, because we have one objective, to work in cinema and to put in the cinema, I believe the really, so, like example, we live and write about in the last years we hear every day about the war in the world and in the cinema world. So many people about this argument, but this argument is not true, because the cinema is big potentiality to learn us, to put us in a reflection about this example, because when we see some terrible people who died in the war, we reflect about it, because maybe is far away from us, but is not so far away, because this war, for example, give and after effect in all the world, because destructs everything. The people lose the most important things, and with the students who we teacher every time from November and April every year at school is 12 olds or teachers from university, we put them in first step to work in team, and maybe they haven't so sympathetically one with the other, but when we said, okay, we organized to make a short film or features film, and I believe, and the same is when the people work to make a features in Hollywood or everywhere, or here in Italy, maybe the people who work to make a film we are not friends maybe, but we are team to work and to make something good, because is our work. But for the artist, I believe, to make a film is not only work, the cinema, is something more, because all the people, actors, directors, who write the story, scriptwriter who write, is like models for all of us, and they can create many models in the world. When we have the goal of creating in the cinematographic product, personally is complicated, disappear, and we all move towards the final goal, the product, the film. Another example is the artists who work in the cinema led us through images and behaviors towards reflection. We have, for example, my grandfather was a people who lived the war, and when he said us the story of the war, is like to and for us to live in this time, and was something terrible. And when the people see the film, is the same, because they feel pathos, crying, smile, comics, and the cinema is example. We know that making films costs so much. If we want to find economic support to make them and subsequently disseminate them, we have to be careful about what we work on and how we express it back. If they weren't also these complications, because the cinema is not so free, I think, and in Italy is not who I know better about the cinema, about the is not like industry in Italy, the cinema, but and is not so free, because if we need some money to make some films about some helps from Ministry of Culture or church, for example, because Italy is Catholic people, and we need to be very, very careful about what argument we put in the film. And I believe all these arguments can put us in to reflect about the human rights, because we say we live in democracy, we are free, but I believe it's not really, because in the moment my brother in Israel, in Iran, in Iraq, in Afghanistan, cannot to travel free, to visit all the place for opportunity, for example, because we feel the planet, the frontiers, like property. We put so many condition about the people, what need the people, and I believe if we can feel rich, for example, economic with the money, we can feel like okay, potentiality. But for me, because we make money, not the money make us, and we can organize all of life about the necessary for not only for us, but for all the society, for the young generation, for the older generation. And just the film and the cinema give us so many examples about it. The film can give us love and joy. The film, I don't know. I told her that we never stop learning and understanding. We can experiment. One thing is certain. It doesn't matter what state or country you are from, and what language you speak. As long as you want to make a film together, the collaboration and friendship are born. And remember us, who we are very, very similar, like people. And I can say something other about it is mercilessly affecting different generations. The most important who can be connection, I believe, is the support of the humanity, the psychological support in the humanity. Because in this time, in these years, many people live in this age, in depression. It is because I believe we work. In first step is the economic circle, who give us many difficult about this argument, because in these years need to work men and women the children haven't, sometimes the life goes so fast, so fast. We haven't more time to reflect about the life. We go so fast to arrive to go at work, to following the children at school, to make everything at time after the activity after school. We think about the older people who sometimes to take them in our family give us some difficulty because they maybe to stay alone all the day, who the people go to work is in danger because maybe their health is not perfectly, maybe their mind don't remember everything, is danger, and is most important to is easier to live, to put them in some home for the older people, no? And it seems that company requires you to. We lost the human value, I believe. In these years, we lost the human value. And for example, in the last month, 2 weeks now, what strikes is 4 people, different ages, 18 to 81, 39, 80 years old, haven't taken their one lives. And this argument make me to reflect about it. What happened in our society? What happened in our planet? Who everything goes so wrong, because it's not nice to hear about some people who stop to live, don't want more to live, because the planet is in crisis, I believe.
I'd like to thank you on behalf of RESO joining us from Italy and responding these 5 questions on climate change, gender equality, and human rights and their interconnectedness, interrelationship, and how does media and Hollywood or film area promotes human rights and awareness on climate change. It is wonderful possibility to have you people, a person like you having on this platform of RESO. It is an opportunity for us, it is a possibility for us, at the same time it is a blessing for us to have people like you who are learned, who have tremendous amount of experience with them, who can hone our understandings up and also brief us up on different societal issues and challenges and their interconnectedness. And the very purpose of RESO is to, as I've already briefed you, is broadcasting international and national interviews on different thematic notations, such as like we cover climate change, human rights, we also cover various other societal issues and problems and try to address them from experts and people who have dexterity in their fields. What's their perception, what's their analysis, what's their inputs, so that we can broadcast them, make it into a database so that the same can be used as an instrument, as a database for further expansion of research and expandability of research in academic domain. So that is what we are into, and at the same time I think I've already briefed you up. Once again, thanks a lot joining us from Italy, my good friend, and such a blessing to have you on the platform of RESO.
And another thing, for example, when I start with AmiCorti International Film Festival, we start like cinema education, because we experiment about some film about the argument bullyism, for example, who is and bully is so important argument and for the young students.